for Keith and the girls and for all the hostages. And now I can't go back to my life. All I do is think about Gali and Zivi and all these hostages that are innocent, that just need to come home. There's 4 fathers that their children are waiting for. Can you imagine this little girl that's 3 years old giving her father a kiss, because this is the poster next to her bed. So she gives her father a kiss and says to him, good night, and everybody just wants to cry. They need to come back. They all need to come back. And I'm going to continue. We're not going to stop. And I'm not going to stop because these are humans that feel, that got hearts, that are, I want everybody just to imagine somebody that they love, that is underneath this ground and waiting to be rescued, starved, with nothing to do, has to keep completely and utterly quiet all the time, with a gun in front of their face, touching death all the time, and worried. I was there. I was thought that I was forgotten, and I so many times just wanted to die because it was too much for one person to handle. And I'm lucky. I'm lucky to be sitting here. I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky that I have Keith next to me that is alive. But so many people during the year and 2 months that I was fighting for Keith to come home asked me, have you heard about Keith? Do you know anything about Keith? And I used to say, no, I don't even know if he's alive. And just think about yourselves. When you have a child and he falls and he scratches himself and he's got a little sore, you hug him, you kiss him. We weren't allowed to do that there. I wasn't allowed to hug my husband when they tried to kill him. I wasn't allowed to hug the girls when they tried to kill him. I had to keep quiet. I had to shut myself down. And it's very difficult. It's a very, very difficult time for all the Jews in the world, for all the good people that care about us and are standing for us. And I just want to say that everybody that's fighting, the pro-Palestinians that are fighting, they do not know what they're doing because they're doing a mistake. They're just making the Hamas stronger. Hamas are terrorists and they need to stop that. And the only way they will stop it is by the leaders that will say, no, I don't want this to happen in England. I don't want this to happen in America. I don't want anything like what happened to us to happen in a different world. But if it continues, it just means that it can be and happen wherever.
From LBC Radio. Just expanding on the moment when you were released. So you were both released as unchallenged as temporary ceasefire agreements. Can you talk to us about what it was that your captains had said to you about your release, how that sort of happened, and then the actual moment itself? What was going through your mind, and what was the first thing you did afterwards?
When I was released after 51 days, I remember myself sitting in the bus on the way home and trying to figure out how am I going to meet my 3 girls without my son, because I was sure that he was murdered on the 7th. He was on the same community, Kibbutz Kfar Aza, and we got disconnected from him. He said that he can hear the Arabic from outside, and I was sure that he was killed. So it was a very difficult moment, saying goodbye to Keith, not knowing if I'll ever see him, knowing that my son is dead. And I remember deciding I have to be happy. I have to be happy for my kids that at least they got their mother back. It was difficult. It wasn't easy. So I did at the first day, and I said I'm going to be happy because they got their mother back, and it's a lot for them. And they really, really struggled to go through that time. Both the parents, older people, and they knew that they might never ever see them again. So we're the lucky family. But we need Gali and Zivi and Matan and Omri and Alon and Yair and all of the hostages that are still there suffering, and their families are suffering, to have that moment that they can sit next to their loved ones and say, we're the lucky ones. And I want everybody in this room, when you wake up tomorrow morning or in a year's time, I want you all to say to yourselves, I did everything I could for humanity, for people that have hearts. Because it's very easy just not to do anything, or just say it didn't happen. But it happened. I was there. I saw my husband being tortured and nearly killed. And nobody wants that for anybody that they love.
To reply to your question, I was told 2 days before I was released that I would be released. Wasn't sure that was going to happen because, as Aviva mentioned, when she was taken and we were separated, they told us that I would be released the day after her, which obviously did not happen. So yeah, I knew I was going to be released on Thursday. I was released on 2 days after, on Saturday. They woke me up early in the morning on Saturday. They told me to take off all of my clothes. I was standing there naked in front of them. Humiliated. They brought me clothes. They told me to get dressed, and then they took me by car from the apartment. I was moved to between at least 5 cars on the way. And in each car, somebody was videoing me. A Hamas terrorist was videoing me and telling me to say something to Hamas. The first one that said that to me, I said, I'm not sure what to say. So he said, maybe I want to thank Hamas for everything that they did for me. So that's what I did. And that's what I did at least 5 times on the way to the location where I was released. I was taken there. I was given a certificate with my name and my birthday, and it had the date of arrest. I was arrested, according to Hamas. And where I was arrested, on my community of Kfar Aza, and I was given that. I was told I would be taken on stage, and if anybody is interested in seeing that, you can Google Keith Siegel's release. There are many videos of that. I was taken in a car full of armed terrorists with their face covered. I was taken on stage. I was told before that I would be taken on stage, I should wave to the audience and say thank you. That's what I did. I waved. I did not say thank you, and then I was taken off stage. A huge crowd of armed terrorists. And again, you can see it online. And then I was taken to the Red Cross vehicle, not being sure I was actually going to be released until I was back in Israel. Worried something might happen, and at the last minute, they might decide not to release me.
Kate today is from The Sun. It's really emotional to hear the testimonies firsthand. I was in Israel a few months ago, and I admire the resilience you've all shown in the face of such inhumanity. I just wondered whether you both fear a repeat of October 7th and the atrocity that happened that day.
I can tell you that I was told over and over again by the terrorists that there will be another October the 7th. That's what they told me. They told me that I should leave Israel, I should take my family and go, otherwise we might die in the next attack. And they asked me, why am I living in Israel? I'm an American citizen, American-Israeli citizen, and it's their land, they told me. We stole their land, we stole their homes, and what right do I have to live there? I think it's the responsibility not only of the Israeli government, but of the world to make sure that Hamas does not have the ability to present a danger to people. And Hamas presents a danger to people on both sides. I do not wish any decent human being to suffer, wherever they live, whatever their religion is. I believe that every decent, moral person has the right to live in peace and security.
Richard Ashmore from the Daily Express. Thank you very much for speaking to us today. I was privileged enough to go to your kibbutz, Kfar Aza, in March this year. I met with Chen Kotler. And two parts to my question, really. Some people have returned to the kibbutz. Have you, or are you planning to? And what does that feel like for you in going back there? And the other question, when I spoke to the people that were there, do you think that Netanyahu, the current Israeli government, is doing enough? Could they do more? And what do you think they could do?
I want to ask you, would you want to lie down on a bed that there's holes in the floor because Hamas terrorists tried to kill me there? Or when I open the window and look in front of me, most of my neighborhood was killed or kidnapped. You wouldn't want that for yourself. I don't want that for myself either. And I want to just say that not many people have gone back to live in Kfar Aza. So many people are just, their soul is destroyed of what they went through. My children lost their best friends. My daughter, in the same group of children, grew up from the day of when they were babies together. One lost her husband with 3 little kids. The other one lost her father because the Hamas terrorists just killed him. And she had both of her parents kidnapped. She's 33 years old, and they are too. And they have to continue living. It's difficult. Kfar Aza went through too much. I can tell you that there's so many houses that there's nobody to go back to. Nobody. Because the people were killed with their children. And we cannot allow ourselves to even think about the 9/11, sorry, 7th
of October.
7th of October, sorry, to happen again. We can't even allow ourselves to think that something like that will happen again, because what happened should never, ever, ever happen again in any place in the world.
I would like to return to Kfar Aza. I've been back 4 times since my release, and I'm always have a desire to go there and see my home and my community for over 40 years. And I meet people from the community, and it's very emotional and very, I think it's very empowering what we've all gone through. This mutual tragedy. I pray for security of, as I mentioned before, for everybody, but specifically our community and our area. I think, I believe that it's important to return to the area. I believe that it empowers me, it empowers us, and it also proves to Hamas that we will not, I don't know if surrender is the right, that they are not going to force us out of our country, of our communities, and that should be clear to them.
I just want to say that Keith and I have lost our house. We've lost our community. We've lost our job. We've lost our friends. And it shouldn't be like that. We've lost so many things. And we're trying to collect the love of our family in our hearts and to get up in the morning and smile, even though there's still 50 hostages in Gaza. Because we're not going to leave, we're not going to lose our hope, and that's why we're here, to talk for them, to all of these. We're not here to talk about ourselves if we go back to Kfar Aza, if we don't, because we can breathe. I can drink water, I can eat, I can open my fridge and take something to eat. They can't. because they starved. And we do know of innocent people in Gaza that just wanted a little bit of flour to make their family some pitot. And the Hamas killed them because they want to take it, they want everything. And we need this war to stop, and we need your help. Thank you. And you asked about Bibi Netanyahu. I believe that my government is doing everything they can to bring the hostages home. I believe that from the bottom of my heart. Because Bibi Netanyahu is not a terrorist. He's a good person with a heart and wants good for his country. But we need help. We need help from England, from the whole world.
If there are no more questions, we'll end the press conference now. Thank you very much for sharing with us. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we end this?
I would like to ask each and every one of you to do whatever you can to help save people. And I think you have a lot of power to spread the word to people, that you're people that listen to you, people that watch you. And I think it's very, very important that everybody knows that there are 50 people, a woman and 49 men, innocent people that have been held for 650 days. They and their families are suffering day by day. And I believe you have a very important role of letting people know the reality of this, and to balance the coverage in the news. There's an opportunity to save people. There's an opportunity to bring an end to the war and prevent further death of people. So I urge you to do whatever you can to pass that message on to your audiences. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Would you be ready?
I just want to say that it would be easier for me and Keith to go to the sea, to have fun. But we can't. We just can't allow ourselves. Because we know, because we're human, because we've got hearts, because we feel. It has to end.
Thank you.
We'll speak later on. You did a really good interview. I know you did a lot of talking. But you did a really good interview. A lot of people.